go over here and talk with Wanda. Wanda from Hurst, Texas. I used to live there. KWRD is the station. Hello, Wanda from Hurst, Texas. How are you?
Hi. Well, I'm fine.
Well, good. How could we help today? Sure.
Well, I was listening to your program, and I heard you say that you should be friends with ex-wives, because of, your ex-husband.
What?
And his wife, because
No.
good for the children. Okay.
No,
the children are grown.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Friendly about the children.
About.
Not be friends with them, but
be on friendly terms when you talk about the children.
Well, but should you?
And then ignore them the rest of the time.
I know, that's what I've been doing, is ignoring. I went to basketball games and, all that with the kids, because I knew there were other people around and it would, kind of protect me. But anyway, should you be friends with your ex-husband and his wife, because children want you to come to their to my grandchildren's birthday party?
Mm-hmm.
Should you go and be around them if they did evil to you?
What evil was done to you?
Well, he cut my face up when I was sleeping, and then he left.
Did he go to jail for that?
No, he hadn't gone to jail.
Did you press charges against him?
No, I tried to get him put in jail because of what he did to our daughter.
What did he do to your daughter?
They said that he couldn't, because the daughter would have to take care of it. He would hold her on his lap and get an erection. Yes. She told me when she was a senior in high school.
You reported this?
And I went to the police department, but not right at that time. I was in denial. I was so shocked. I was just in denial.
Well, I got to tell you, it's very strange to hear that a Child Protective Services wouldn't look into something unless the daughter.
Well, the police department. I went to the police department.
Yeah.
And they said no, they couldn't do anything. It would be up to the daughter to be
well, if the daughter is an adult.
Well, there are, for instance, on spouse abuse cases, you don't have to file. You say, well, you're going to file charges or not? You don't have to file charges now in most states. When they see abuse, the police will take action, which is what should happen.
Yeah. Well, they'll file a charge.
Yeah, and they will be the ones that will. And so I got a little problem with that. But anyway, what's your question for us then?
Well, other than him doing that, all that stuff, he put me in a mental institution when they found out that I was going to divorce him, because I waited for 2.5 years for him to straighten up, and he wouldn't do it. Okay, so your husband really did a lot of bad things for you, and your kids want you to go to a basketball game that he's at, or a birthday party that he's at. In their house. They want me to go to a birthday party in their house, and I just don't feel right about it, because I get that same feeling when he put me in that mental institution.
Okay, now here's my thought. Most of the time, I would be saying to someone, well, come on, you need to buck up here for the kids, and you need to resolve your emotional issues and stuff, and go and be an adult and be there. But this is a case where he's been abusive to you and your daughter, and it's very, very serious. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to be there.
But I think of my grandchildren. I've got 3 granddaughters.
What is your?
Could do the same thing too.
What do your kids know what he did to you?
My daughter does. But she's in denial. She won't even mention it. You ask her, and she just goes into this stare.
Wow.
Just stares. She just doesn't talk. She just stares.
Well, then I think you need to have a talk with your kids and say, this is why I'm not coming if he comes, and we'll maybe have to have 2 birthday parties.
Yep. I think that could be the answer in this case.
Well, my son already said, but they weren't going to have 2. He said, you just don't have to come. And
well, you can have your own party. Yeah. You can have a party for your son.
Grandson.
Grandson, I mean.
It's also possible your son is saying, we're only having 1 party, and he's giving you an ultimatum, which tells me a little bit about how controlling your son is being. And he's
controlling her ex-husband.
Right. They cut me out for 3 years. They isolated me from all my children and grandchildren.
Understood. So what I'm saying is that this pressure that the family's putting on you, it's either continued isolation or do what we tell you to do, is a very big problem. And I think what Steve and Dave are saying is really important. respect is earned. It's not just given away. And so for you to earn the respect for yourself, self-respect, and for the rest of the family to respect you, I think you need to be clear. In some occasions, I can go to places, and I can perhaps be in the same room as this person, but I will not go to their house. Your father was hurtful and abusive to me, and I refuse until he apologizes to me to ever do anything like that. But I also learned something about you in something you said a little while ago. You said, I went to a basketball game, my kids are with me, and they protected me, which tells me how little inside sometimes perhaps you feel, or how victim-like you feel inside, that you feel like you need protection. And what are you doing to build yourself up? Wanda in Hearst, Texas, what is she doing to build herself up into a more mature adult who can withstand the pressures of people? What are you doing for yourself right now?
I pray.
Not enough. What else you doing?
Not enough.
No, prayer is not enough. What else you doing?
Oh, I thought you meant I wasn't praying enough.
No, I'm saying prayer is not enough. But I like that you're praying, but it's not enough. Keep going. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'll just go to church.
Okay. Then you need to be in a group where you go to an assertiveness class, you go to a grief class, you go to a class where people learn to give adult voice to themselves, where they learn the victims of this world, the pleasers of this world, learn to go, and they learn to sharpen their skills. Codependency classes.
I was thinking of martial arts class.
A martial arts class.
Quit
go for that.
Quit going to church and start getting involved in church.
Yeah, I'm involved there. I work there one day a week.
Well, do you go to a women's Bible study?
Yes.
I want every.
But is there honesty at that women's Bible study, or do people just sit and listen? And there's room for listening,
right?
But there's also room where I have to learn to be assertive and develop an adult voice and speak and think what it is I believe and learn to believe in myself. And if we didn't become an adult by the time we're 18, 20, or 25, we can still do it at 30, 35, 40, and 50, and 60.
Correct.
I'm 72.
Okay, well, I'm only 10 years behind you, Wanda, so we're all still trying to grow up.
Well, I feel grown up. I've been through all this.
Well,
and I've raised 3 children, and I've
you feel grown up on
43 years.
All right,
but you feel grown up on the inside?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dave.
Do what?
Do you feel grown up on the inside?
I feel sad.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the hurt.
We're sorry for that
little girl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to take that.
Sure it is. Sure it is. And you need a safe person where you can cry even deeper than you are now, and help. They will help you get through this time. Otherwise, you just stay a little girl who's just brokenhearted the rest of her life. And you don't have to do that.
And needing protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Well, I'm glad you called.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
And I hope something we've said has helped you here. I'm going to send you Healing as a Choice, and I hope that will be a blessing to you.
Okay.
Hey, big hug from us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, there are some calls that you just wish we could do more for a person. What a horrible situation. Cut up her face.
Sure. You know, right. I think victims think that by staying under the radar, by giving people time to change, and by not ever resisting, and by not pushing back or setting boundaries, victims often set themselves up for further abuse because that passivity breeds contempt in controlling angry people, and the only way to gain respect is by demanding it. Yeah. And so the way we do that is by setting boundaries and by finding groups that strengthen us so we're able to do that. Yep. But if we were to trace Wanda's history back, she was undoubtedly, I bet she didn't marry somebody a whole lot different than her family of origin.
Yeah, right.